the Las Vegas Review and Journal comes out and they say that Coach Prime has serious interest in the Las Vegas Raiders. So when I break that down, the first thing I do is I say interest. What is interest? All right. Before I get started, y'all make sure you hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. So before I get started, I got to talk about what is interest. If I walk down the street, me and my financial stature today, and there's a man selling a Maybach, right? And I go to this man and I say, "Hey man, how much is that Maybach?" Or "How much gas does that Maybach take?" Now I got a Silverado. I'm not in the Maybach category. I'm not even a market for a car. But I see a guy with a Maybach walking down the street. So I say, "Okay, cool. How much is that?" Would that guy not be able to go tell his boss that Dukes the Scoop had interest? He could. Did I have interest? Would you consider me to have interest just because I asked about a car? Would you consider me to have interest in that car, in that Maybach? Is that what you would consider? I don't know. But I think the average person would consider that to be interest, right? Now, how do we even get to Coach Prime having interest? Man, Colorado, for whatever reason, hasn't put a contract in front of Coach Prime that's been suitable to his liking enough for him to sign it. Now, that I do know. So, when I got a chance to go hang out with Coach Prime, we talked about it. We had a real good conversation. And part of that conversation, we talked about my future. We talked about what he saw in me. So I asked about his future, and we it's locker room talk at this point. We kicking it, and Coach Prime is like, "Man, it'd take an act of God for me to leave here, but I ain't gonna miss God." He always said that. Now, he also said, we just got to get this thing worked out, but it's gonna get worked out. Okay, that was November. So I'm like, man, what's taking so long? Why have they not really come to the table with something that's gonna knock his socks off yet? All right, that's kind of where I am. Why hasn't Colorado come to the table with something that will knock Coach Prime's socks off, as far as an offer? Now think about this. Nobody in college football as a head coach was on ESPN more than Coach Prime. Period. All right, did. Now think about this. Imagine how Coach Prime had to feel, right? When he's watching ESPN, he sees himself, he knows that ESPN is using him to get views and all of this, right? Okay, cool. And then at the bottom, it says, at the bottom right there, it says Kurt Signetti gets yada, 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 right? So you watching yourself, you're the guy that's driving clicks and views for, you're bringing, and I'll get into the stats and the numbers, but you're the guy and you're watching at the bottom as somebody else is getting paid, right? Okay, cool. All right. So I get it. Now, somebody in the chat said Joe Klatt said he had a nice contract. A nice contract, I believe that's I believe it's nice. I believe it's nice, right? A nice book bag is a spray ground. That's a nice book bag, but it's not a Louis. Coach Prime, what he's done, he doesn't deserve a nice contract. He deserves one of them. Like, I think where you look at where Kurt Signetti is and what he's done, I don't think any coach in the country has had the economic impact that Coach Prime had. So let's go into the numbers, and we've done it before, but let's go into the numbers. Let's talk about the Prime effect and why I feel like Colorado should be willing to do whatever to keep him. First and foremost, the majority of these numbers come from 23 because 24, they're still processing a lot of the numbers. But first and foremost, watch this. $340 million. $340 million in media exposure. That's one. All right. Okay, boom. Let's go from there. In 6 games in 2023, $113.2 million in direct economic impact. Okay. Visitor spending increased by $10 million in 6 home games. Okay. This the killer for me. The average visitor spent $183 on accommodations in 2023 coming to a Colorado home game. In 2017, that number was $102. That's an $80 swing. All right. Look at the national average of inflation between 2017 and 2023. It only fluctuated between 2 and a little bit over 4% on a national average. The national average for inflation from 2017 to 2023, 2 to 4%. Except for the year 2022, it spiked to 8% in inflation. All right. When you take compound inflation, the number is right at 23 to 24% for how much inflation should have been. Coach Prime tripled it. He was at 83. He tripled it. The prime inflation number on accommodations to come to a Colorado home game was triple the national average of inflation. What does he mean to an entire ecosystem, not just on the football field? Boom. Let's go to the university. We always talk about, the African American applicant rate went up by 50%. We always talk about that, right? Okay, cool. I'm good with that. This is the real number for me. 1,046 people transferred into Colorado because of a rule that Coach Prime pushed for to allow more people to get in. 1,046. Only 45 of those people were football players. 1,001 kids got a chance to come to Colorado and transfer in because of something that Coach Prime helped get done to get people in that school. Dog, he's earned the money. Give him the money. Show him the money. The NIL budget. He's not even breaking the bank for NIL. He's basically showing people how that you can get NIL truly using your name, image, and likeness. He's a unicorn in college football, dog. He just had Travis Hunter. What other player of Travis Hunter's magnitude, whether they needed the money or not, wasn't getting a collective check? He's saving you money in so many ways. He's earned it. So I know, and much respect to Joel Klatt, I know he's good friends with Coach. I do believe that he's had, I believe he has a nice contract in front of him. I do. But he don't deserve a nice contract. He need one of them if you want to keep him. Colorado cannot afford to become Jackson State. See, that's what happened, right? You got it. So look, I don't even think it's Rick George. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I know Rick George wants more for Coach Prime, right? But it ain't coming out of Rick George's pocket. It's coming out of their pocket. They got to see the value. All right, look. So when I was talking my video, we'll get into this, and then we'll get into some questions. Look, budget, value, and worth is what this is about. It's about budget, value, and worth. And then after that, it's about leverage and loyalty. All right, watch this. Budget is what somebody has to spend for something. Okay, cool. Or what they feel comfortable spending. Right? And then you go above your budget, or sometimes you can save your budget, right? But your budget is what you intend to spend on something. The next word is value. But according to how you value something, you're willing to go above and beyond your budget based on how you value it, right? Value is where value is the correlation between financials and cost and worth. and true worth, right? And the perception of that worth. So value is the financial number that you put on your perception of what something is worth. Perfect example. Watch this. Cool. Deion Sanders, Air Diamond Turf. This is a 2010 pair, right? Cool. Somebody who don't wear tennis shoes will say, I wouldn't give you more than $20 for that old shoe, right? That's the value they put on it because they don't know shoes. Anybody that knows shoes know that this 2010 pair is worth a ton of money more than what it's actually worth retail because you can't get this shoe anymore, right? Did. So StockX and GOAT, that community is going to have a higher value on it, right? So the way you perceive something is why you will be willing to go above and beyond your budget based on how you perceive it, all right? So budget and value. Then you got worth. Worth is when you know all of those stats I just ran off of y'all. Coach Prime knows all those stats like the back of his hand. He knows what he's worth. So regardless of your budget, I know what I'm worth, right? Regardless of how you value me, your perception, your cost correlated perception of my value, of my worth, which is your value, regardless of that, I know what I'm worth. Cool. So with that being said, right, you got to find that balance between loyalty and leverage. Because now and I'm not saying y'all didn't, but I'm just walking through the whole mindset. Budget, value, and worth. We went through that. Now we're at loyalty and leverage. See, sometimes loyalty, right, will have you taking a little bit less than what you're worth, right? But leverage allows you to take not much less than what you know you're worth, right? So leverage means I know based on everything I've done, all of these stats, I don't have to take much less than what I feel like I'm worth. I don't have to take anything less than what I'm worth. But loyalty would allow me to take a little bit less than what I'm worth, right? So there's and sometimes people can be so loyal, right? You ever heard of blind loyalty? Some people can be so loyal that they're blind to what they're worth. One of them people ain't Coach Prime. So when they say it's interest, do I think it's interest? I don't know, but I would say, yeah, I think it's some interest because why haven't you taken care of me yet? It's not I want to leave. It's why haven't you given me something? You had all this time. You knew when I had 7 wins, this day was coming. You knew this day was coming when I had 7 wins, right? Okay. Don't play. Coach Prime, so when he saw Kurt Signity get that deal, he ain't the type that's going to hate. But he also ain't the type that's going to wait too long. Now, he didn't wait it. You know what I'm saying? I know Rick George wants to get this done. But Colorado, right, they got to figure this out. Because I know if it was Rick George, he'd just cut the check. But he don't got them type of pockets for what Coach Prime asking for. It's going to take people around. So I don't feel no kind of way about Coach Prime. And for the people who really care about Coach Prime, you can't feel a kind of way if something comes out saying he has interest, right? Because at the end of the day, he's done too much for him not to be financially compensated for what he's done. I gave you all of the stats, right? Now we got to go. You know what I'm saying? It's time. They could have I know for a fact when they hardline negotiated, they didn't want to do that during the season. I saw somebody post that, right? But I know for a fact they had time to go figure it out, right? They had time to go figure it out. So now it's time for Colorado to figure it out because you got something beautiful brewing, right? you got something really, really good brewing in Colorado. We're talking about a potential national championship contender, a potential perennial playoff contender in Colorado. Who do you pick over Colorado in the Big 12 going forward? It's hard to just pick somebody and say, oh, they're going to beat them area. Arizona State. They lost a lot too. Colorado lost a lot, so did Arizona State. It ain't a whole lot of scatterboos just running around Arizona. So at this point, you know, just look out for the man. Imagine this. You a hardworking man or a hardworking woman, right? And you going crazy doing all of your responsibilities and you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. Hardworking man, hardworking woman, and you're doing everything that you're supposed to do in your relationship. And your partner promises you something. Your partner says, if you do all of these things, I'm going to cook, right? If you do all of these things, I'm going to clean. Week after week after week, you continue to do the things that you're supposed to do. Ain't nobody cook. Coming into a dirty house, ain't nobody clean. And then everywhere you go, if you're a man, it's a fine little thing walking by with a plate of food saying, baby, did you eat today? You eat good over here. She got the cleavage out and everything. Forgive me, y'all. She got what Whitlock say? She got the peanut butter skin in the cans with a plate of food walking by you every day. And you said, dang, I'm not being treated at home. But nah, I'm a loyal man, right? I ain't gonna do that. But then there's a point in time where that man gonna say, look, woman, if you don't put no food on this plate, I just saw 3 or 4 women walking down the street that want to feed me right now. I'm hungry. Pay the man. Pay the man. He earned it. Hey, y'all, let's get a couple more likes up, man. I'm finna open up the flow, man. So what y'all want to do, super chats go to the front. I don't even know if you can do super chats in here, but if you can, send one. I ain't never did this on YouTube, but we're going to open up the flow. Y'all tell me y'all thoughts, and we'll go through it together. Lady C, I got to figure out how to put them on the screen. Might have to Google it. Marty said, pay the man. Greg said, have you spoke to CP lately? No, I ain't talked to him since, I talked to him about a week ago. And he was on, somebody else had called me from out there. He was in the background. He just, he definitely sent. But yeah, we talked for like, it wasn't long at all. He sent me a strong message though, for sure. Shout out to Coach, man. Oh, let me see what we got. Oh, hey, excuse me, I'm trying to figure out how to get this, how to get the chats to the screen. How do I do that? Hula Bowl game was today. Yeah, there was a lot of people down there. Shout out to Sabrina. Shout out to Grizz. Shout out to Lady C. Big Joe, FDCG said pay him 10 to 12 million a year plus incentives. Yeah, I don't. ATL, proud of you dudes. Appreciate it. It's business 101 for Coach Prime. Leverage dictates outcome. Man, that man don't want to leave Colorado. I'm telling you, he don't want to, but he will. Right? He ain't gonna, it's not turning your back. If Juju came out there in the NIL, like, trust me, if Juju go out there and ball out, and he's supposed to get an uptick in his based on his performance, he out of there. Like, this ain't the old days. Like, your boy Wood said, you think it's gonna be a Jackson State moment? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're gonna get it right. I think it's been enough talking and enough going out. The tennis channel, what's happening? I think it's been enough talking. I think it's enough going out where they know, like, no, it ain't no. The Queen CP has only been there 2 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Hey, I'm finna do something. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get there. All right, let me see. It says show how you'll celebrate. I don't know. I'm just starting something. Let me see. No, I don't want to start no go. Boom. Okay, let me see. Hey, can y'all see that super chat that just came through? Can y'all see it? It's from Keith Tunstyle. I'm trying to put it on the screen. Excuse me, y'all. Appreciate that super chat, Keith. It's not on the screen. Kirby made 13. Dabo make 11. You can see it in the chat. All right, so next time I'm gonna do this on. I'm gonna do it back on StreamYard. Man, appreciate that, Keith. Yeah, no deal done by the Super Bowl. Man, I think they're gonna get that deal done. I think they're gonna get that deal done this week. Like, um, if I'm gonna make a prediction, I think you got about 7 days for that deal to get done. Like for sure. One, Coach Prime Lee, man, you talk about a mass exodus. Boy, it's gonna be Colorado players everywhere. It was an Auburn fan hit me today and said, "Is Colton Hood? You think we can get Colton Hood back?" An Auburn fan hit me on Twitter. You can go look and see. They said, "Hey, they saw that graphic came out that On3 put out, and really On3 blew it up. They couldn't wait. On3 blew it up. That was good media on it. They was like, oh yeah, we finna yeah." And they didn't say it either, so they couldn't wait to do it. Man, please, man, let them folks get up out here. The boy Wood say that would be a Marshall moment. Yeah, man, he earned like championships will come. But he's really playing with like a hand behind his back because the two schools that are in the championship game, they really got NIL. The two that are in this championship game, they really got NIL. Ohio State. So we can say what we want to say. We know Ohio State had the most expensive roster of college football. We knew that, and look what it got them. They're in the championship game. Nobody can be upset at Ohio State right now. Yeah, you lost to Michigan, but you're in the championship game. Yeah, man, you 23 million from the collective. That's not even including incentives and commercials. Coach Prime said it on like when he went on his media run this week. He said it best. Who else you see with all of these? Who else do you see with commercials? That's it. Throw in the bag and see what he does. He really want to take care of his staff. Yeah, man, he definitely does, man. Look, I don't think he's planning on leaving. Like, in the phone call I got out of Colorado this week, well, I got a couple of them, but one of them I got out of it was making me feel like he ain't going nowhere. But one thing about it, you cannot, I hate to say it like this, but man, and this is especially for my ladies. Ladies, how many times y'all been in a relationship and you weren't valued and it didn't get better? If you were in a relationship and you weren't valued, how often do those relationships get better? Man, look, Atlanta ain't been the same. Atlanta ain't do right by Deion. He got up out of there. That man didn't want to leave Atlanta. He loved Atlanta. We love Coach Prime. They got to get it right, dog. They got to get it right. You know what I'm saying? Sabrina said, stay out of my life. Chris Ed said, they do not get better. They don't. When you in them type of relationships, they do not get better. You got to be somewhere that they value. I know for a fact, it's a thing that the plans, all of the plans that I'm hearing are for Coach Prime to stay. But if they do not pay, he will be on his way. I wasn't even trying to rhyme. I can't put it no better than that. The plans are to stay. But if they do not pay, he will be on his way. And I don't even think that he's asking for something that he don't deserve. I know for a fact he's not asking for something that he doesn't deserve. He's not trying to go get $20 million a year. I can guarantee you that. Atlanta State folks in the North. Salute at Deuce the Scoop. They will have to get CP stock in the NFL for him to leave. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. He don't really want to go. But you're gonna force the man hand like the man ain't no lame. Okay. All right. Man, you know, it's look, Coach Prime grew up in Florida, grew up a lot in Atlanta, did a lot when he came to Atlanta. He grew up some more then. Set roots in Dallas. Currently lives in Colorado. But right now, that man is from Missouri. You got to show him. Show me state. You got to show my dog. For sure. Show him his value. That's it. You don't have to go out and make this so, you don't have to make him no $25 million man at all. You don't. All you got to do for Coach Prime is show him that he's valued along the lines of where the numbers say he should be valued. Because if you keep it on the field, he's right in that 9 to 11. If you add any of his economic impact to the community, the media broadcasting, the merch, he could really go ask you for a dub, for sure. But what he brought to that community and where he picked it up from, he could ask you for 20, but he ain't asking for that. So at this point, you know, when he gets back, I feel like there's a lot of things that Coach Prime hasn't said publicly. And if you think Coach Prime didn't see that today, then you crazy. He saw it. Now, usually that would have been somebody about his kids or something like that. He probably would have responded already. But you let it slide. Just for today, I don't know. He might come out tomorrow and say, hey, man, this ain't true, this ain't this. But I'm going to tell you, I think it's good for him. I think it's good for people to realize that I don't have to just take way less than I'm worth because I love you. And I think that's important for us as people, men and women, in relationships, whether they be romantic relationships or whether they be work relationships. I don't have to take what you want me to have, right? Because you don't see my value. His stock is rising every day. And I'm going to tell you something. These fans are going with him where he goes. Now, Colorado is going to do well. And just like he did at Jackson State, he's going to leave the place better than what he got. But can you blame somebody for getting out of a relationship with somebody who doesn't see their value? When I read these stats, $113.2 million in direct economic impact to Boulder. $113.2 million in direct economic impact to Boulder. In 23, it's not even 24. When the numbers come out for 24, which I'm pretty sure Coach Prime has a handle on, and everybody doesn't yet, but I know he has a handle on it. When you look at what he's done in the 2-year span to make $5 million a year, he's criminally underpaid. And a lot of times when people get underpaid like that, you got to give them a little something to get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't, see, when it comes down to the money is not just a greed thing. Man, I don't need no bread. But see, sometimes when you don't need bread, people play you a kind of way. It's just like with me. It's just like with me, right? So I make pretty good money on in my consulting and everything else I do. Okay, cool. When I'm negotiating media contracts, people who know what I do on the real, they try to take that into consideration and be like, oh well, we're gonna pay you this because we know you're getting this kind of money. Or had a company only wanted to pay me a very small fee for me to come do reporting on their team. This is a team in the SEC, not Auburn, but the SEC team wanted me to come report for them part time because they knew On Three was still paying me. Well, we don't have to pay you the whole thing because you're still getting paid from On Three. He was right, but why would I go take that much less of my value, right? Just because I can. It's not about the money. I got bread. I'm straight. It's not about the money. It's about my value. It's about my time. It's about what I'm doing. You got to put a price on people's time. Time is the ultimate currency, whether you got money or not. You cannot allow yourself to go out here and do stuff to work and the stresses of what comes with him being Coach Prime for nothing just because he already got money. That ain't fair to him. You know what I mean? I done seen it a million times. Like, so you gotta understand it, man. And I know the fans that we don't want them to leave. We want them to stay, but man, sometimes, and you see, I breathe hard. Well, it's not up to us. It's up to Colorado. We would not be seeing that article out if Colorado had did what they supposed to do already, right? And I know they can do it, and I have the utmost confidence that they will do it. But at this point, it is very important for us to realize that he's only a man. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a man too. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't. Somebody said it's not Rick George. It ain't. That's his partner. That's his boy. It ain't Rick George. Rick George back the Brinks truck up if he could. It ain't him. Chris S. just said it's not Rick George. Right. 1,000% right. It ain't him. But at this point in time, we really got to be cognizant of the fact that you don't use people, and I don't think it's fair. He got an opportunity year one, and he gave him a 3, and gave him 3 games, and now he's done it. Elijah Bonaparte, come on, dog. Related to Napoleon, based on their 1-11 record 2 years ago, this conversation should not be happening. Chris S. said, can we talk about the highest GPA ever for the program? I tell you what, in the chat, drop your favorite Coach Prime accolade since he's been in Colorado in the chat. I'm going to read them out. Drop your favorite Coach Prime accolade in the chat. Smoke said he don't have NIL to compete and underpaid. I would leave. I don't know the exact NIL numbers, but he don't have Ohio State. He ain't got Auburn. Anthony Huff said, no kids in trouble. That's a big one. They said that locker room was like a jail cell. Y'all remember that? Or they said people was damn near getting shot in the locker room. Y'all remember that? Chris said highest GPA. Joel said, have fun started for players with children at the local bank. Fun started for players with kids, for players with children. Come on. Mr. Miami said, my favorite is helping Jimmy through the draft, through the time with his dad in prison. Yes. Come on. Chris S., 18 million in one weekend. Marty said the high GPA is great. Come on, man. Larry Williams, no players on the news for crime or arrested. Come on. Multiplier said, Boulder economy. Come on. Donnie C, increased enrollment. Come on. Putting players in commercials. Terry Marie. Michael Senior said, he is preparing those young men for life after football. Lady C Speaks said sold out crowds. Mr. Miami, by the way, the most watched team in Power 4. Joel Pena said, putting loyal players in multiple commercials. Atlanta State Focus said the real estate market in Boulder has never been better. Robert Washington said him loving on Miss Peggy. Come on. Chris S. All games on national TV. Come on. Peter D. Sports Illustrated Person of the Year. Come on. Jones 2-3 pulling the team out of hell with his bare hands and his Louis luggage. Holding Kobe 24-8 said holding how he held LaJohntay Wester accountable on his grades. Come on. Lady C said she liked the sideline full of celebrities. Come on. The man said helps everyone in the community. Joel said putting coaches in positions they never would have been in if not for Coach Prime. Come on, man. Come on, chat. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? NDTT said, I see you skipped the comment. Yeah, crazy, man. Come on, dog. Marine said anti-bullying. Look, this dude said, y'all skipped this comment. He was saying something like, he ain't never won nothing and all that. Bro, you can go on plenty of pages and go hate on the man. This ain't the place for that. Go somewhere else. I ain't on the man, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck. I ain't finna hate on the man. Pay the man. I mean, that's cool. I ain't finna take you out the chat. You can stay here. You feel me? So, do I think that, I saw somebody say something that I thought was good. Somebody said, just because he wants the NFL, don't mean the NFL want him. All right, NDTT, you got you. I'm gonna give you that one. If you don't think that like these are the same people that said that Shador wouldn't be a do y'all remember when Quincy Avery was like, so you think your son a top 5 pick? He had to eat them words. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Come on. He had to eat them words. If you don't think them folks want, if you don't think, so first and foremost, every team ain't for Deion, and Deion ain't for every team. But if you don't think that it's a team in the NFL with the premium it is on winning that needs a quarterback and that knows that he's a draw to get players to come play for him, even in the NFL, who's been a great evaluator of talent, who's done this without a ton of 5-star talent and a ton of 4-star talent, who has literally brought people in, a guy like Cameron Silman Craig, and gotten the most out of him, do you not think that somebody who will be able to have the command of someone's attention the way that Deion Sanders would not be welcome in the NFL? Bro, you think Jeff Saturday was a head coach with no kind of experience in the NFL? Jeff Saturday, bro. JJ Redick is literally right now the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers with no experience. His only coaching experience was a 4th grade team in New York. And you don't think Deion Sanders could get a job in the NFL? Nick Saban got a job in the NFL with only, one championship at LSU? Then he went to Bama and went crazy. Come on, man. Come on, let's think now. Let's think. Same brain surgery. Let's think about it. People can make a way for whatever they want to be made done. And don't think the NFL is not on that. You feel me? Don't think that there's nobody that wants him in the NFL. Now, he said he didn't want to coach grown men. But what if he was able to be the GM? He could have asked the Raiders, is that GM job open? You feel me? I ain't tripping. Y'all going crazy in the chat. You feel me? But yeah, man, like it ain't nothing for us to be going back and forth about for real. Like it's gonna play out the way it plays out, man. But I thought this was this was good, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, if that man really wanted to go, he can go, man. It ain't nothing. Y'all, we forget it was a time where people said nobody would ever hire Dion in the Power Four. At the time, it was Power Five. Y'all remember them days where they said nobody would ever like Dion was gonna fail? Yeah, man. Like you can't really continue to keep thinking to doubt this man. I'm not saying that man God. I'm not saying that man Jesus. I ain't saying none of that. I'm saying that Deion Sanders. It's just like Tom Brady. I don't bet against Tom Brady. I don't bet against Pat Mahomes. There's just certain things you don't do. I don't bet against Pat Mahomes, right? When the Klitschko's was boxing, I didn't bet against Vitaly or Vladimir. I didn't bet against him because he was technically sound. I didn't bet against Jordan. Certain people you don't bet against. In life, I don't bet against Deion Sanders. That man done did everything he wanted to do. That man sat me in the office and gave me 10. I forgot this man had a whole media career already. Gave me too much game. Walking me down what to do, who to do. Listen to, hey, look, this is a good spot for you. This is a good spot. This is what I got for you. Look, you can go here, but man, I think you're going to be good by yourself, dog. You can go take that, but listen, you bet on yourself. I got something for you. That man ain't, I'm a believer. What's the slogan? Do you believe? Huh. Okay. You don't bet against Tyson in his prime. Come on, man. It's just certain people you don't bet against. You don't bet against Deion Sanders in life, saying he can and he can't do something. So that's the last thing they're gonna say. Do you think a team in the NFL wants him? Bro, yeah. And if he gonna make them want him. Nobody thought he can do anything that he's done. You know what I'm saying? And this is the only thing. This is the other thing too. You get Juju to commit, don't get paid, you don't go. One thing I know about Tyrone Lewis, TC Lewis, Juju Daddy, he knows that he can find a spot for his boy. He gonna find one. It's so many teams that need quarterbacks. Okay, he gonna be fine. It's gonna be a lot of, and at the end of the day, I wouldn't blame Deion. I would blame the Colorado administration because the proof is there. He's done everything. Why is Juju even there? When Colorado went 1-11, if you thought that you was going to be able to get the number 2 country in the ESPN rankings from Atlanta, Georgia, that's worth the money itself. Come on, man. That's enough. That's worth the money itself. So, man, look, that's my time. I wasn't even planning on going live. I'm glad we did. That's been fun. So look, usually like we got a more wide open forum. We talk about everything else, but since I put a thumbnail on it, this how we want to do it, man. So look, man, I thank y'all. Make sure y'all follow me. Hey, make sure y'all like and subscribe. I'm at Dukes the Scoop on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hey, man, thank y'all, man. See y'all next time.